Natalie Barlow Creations. If you're new to my channel and you're stopping by for the first time, thank you for stopping by. Welcome to my channel. Stick around a while by clicking that red button for more crafting on a budget, more everything on a budget videos to come. And if you click it again when the bell appears, YouTube should notify you every time I upload a new video, depending on the options that you choose in the drop-down menu of the bell. If you're interested in following me on social media, you can find those links, you guessed it, in the description box below. What have I got going on for you for today? It is nearing the end of July, and I know I am so late to this party, but I am bringing to you a Christmas in July DIY. We are exactly 6 months away from Christmas. Well, yesterday was 6 months. I'm a day late and a penny short. But yes, we are 6 months away from Christmas, and so I thought that I would bring to you an easy to do DIY Christmas ornament that I think you're absolutely gonna love. It's easy, it's budget friendly, and we're stepping out of the box, out of our comfort zone. You're not gonna be intimidated by this DIY. You're gonna try it with me, and you're gonna see just how easy it is. So I'm gonna quit my gabbing, let's jump into it, and let's do some Christmas in July DIYing. Now you're gonna have plenty of time to make some ornaments. You're gonna have 6 months. Let's get to it. My blog site is up and in full swing. I have got 2 posts up. If you're interested in following me on this journey, on this new path that I'm on, you can find the link to my blog site in the description box below where you can subscribe to it because I will be posting every Monday. So come join me while I get personal because everything is personal, including this blog. Alrighty, getting started with today's Christmas in July DIY. Yep, this is fondant that you see in my hand. I am using fondant for this DIY because it's so easy to work with. This DIY ornament, you can get fondant at Walmart in 3 different sizes, ranging in price from $4.96 to $20, depending on how many ornaments you want to make. To color the fondant, you're going to use something as simple as just a gel food coloring. Yeah, easy. It does get a little bit messy, so you will want to wear gloves, but I found buying these 2 sets of food coloring boxes, you kind of have all your bases covered as far as the browns, the blacks, and the primary colors as well. You can also find these pre-colored fondant kits. Not a lot comes in them, but for me, I figured it was a good buy because I was loving the skin tone one. It came with 3 different colored skin tones. It came with a black fondant, and I felt like it was just easier buying this kit because you don't need a lot when you're doing the skin tones or eyes. Today, the fondants that I will be using is a white, this peach skin tone, red, and black. And the red I did make with food coloring. Alrighty, so getting started, I'm gonna start out by rolling out my fondant, and I'm starting off with Santa's face. Yes, this is PVC piping that you see me rolling my fondant out with because you know me, I am all about using what I have on hand and not buying all the fancy tools. PVC piping is smooth, it's gonna roll it out. I don't have a smaller rolling pin. I know I can use that, but I don't have one. So when I'm in the garage and I see this, I think, okay, self, this is gonna work perfectly. We're not eating it, we're making an ornament, so it's perfect. I'm gonna go ahead and roll out my fondant for Santa's face. I don't want it too thick, but I don't want it so thin that the fondant is gonna rip apart. So you wanna kinda go with a happy medium for it. Again, I don't have any fancy cutters to cut fondant with, but using these chopping mats from the Dollar Tree, they come in a 2-pack. These are perfect for making your own cutters. And of course, you're gonna need some Scotch tape. Yep, to cut these cutting mats, you can use a paper cutter, but I will forewarn you, it's gonna ruin your blade. So I would use an older blade, maybe one that was shredding up your paper a bit because it will cut through it. And that way you're not ruining a new blade. You're gonna wanna cut a strip that's about 1 inch wide, just like I have here. These cutting mats, they have a shiny side and then they have a dull matte side. When doing this, you want the dull matte side on the outside and the shiny side on the inside of the cutter, so that way your fondant doesn't stick to it. Right? I'm gonna make a circle cutter. Make any size circle you want, whatever size suits your needs. Once you've got the size you need, go ahead and cut off the excess mat, and then you're gonna use your Scotch tape, and you're gonna tape it together so that way it stays in the size in which you need it. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. It doesn't get any more budget friendly than this. When taping this, you do want to make sure that you do kind of go over the sides, so that way when you are cutting your fondant, you don't get any seam lines as well. It kind of gives you one smooth circle. Yep, now we're gonna take the handy circle cutter that we just made to cut our fondant, and we're gonna make the base of Santa's face. Now we're gonna build up, so we've gotta start from the back of his face, and then we're gonna build up, which is gonna give this ornament kind of a two-dimensional look. So like I said, we're gonna build up. Now I'm gonna take the red fondant, and this is one that I made with the white fondant and just added some of the red food coloring to it. When you're adding food coloring to the fondant, like I said, you are going to want to wear gloves because it is going to stain your hands. It gets a little messy, but once you've worked that food coloring into the fondant, you're kind of good to go and it's not going to stain your fingers. I'm going to go ahead and roll out my fondant again. Now I'm going to go a bit thinner because the base of Santa's face needed to be a little bit thicker to give us some substance to make this a sturdy ornament so it's not flimsy. Now as we layer it, we can put thinner pieces on it. Again, I'm going to take the circle cutter and I am going to cut a circle out of the red fondant. Now, when cutting the fondant, I have found when using these mats that you kind of get these frayed edges. They're not very clean edges, which kind of drives me a little bit bonkers, but if you just run your finger right along it, it'll smooth it out. Now, I am not a cake topper maker personer. I so am not. I wing it when I'm doing stuff like this and I kind of learn as I go. And so just smoothing out the edges the way I did it works great. We're making Santa's hat. So to get the same size circle, if we just cut an initial circle, we're gonna have the same size as Santa's head. Then I'm gonna go ahead and just cut a section off the top like you see me doing so. And this is gonna be, I guess, the beanie part to Santa's head. And again, I'm going to go ahead and smooth out those edges with my finger because we don't want frayed edges. We want nice clean edges. And so look, just clean them up just like that. To adhere this hat onto Santa's face, if you just take a paintbrush and some water, yes, water, it's gonna make a glue because fondant is sugar. So when you wet it, it makes it sticky. So on the back side of the hat, I placed some water and I'm just gonna go ahead and place it on the top of Santa's head. Look, we're layering. See how this is working? This is gonna be so easy. Don't feel intimidated by this. Go get some fondant and try it out with me because you're gonna love this, and this would make for a great projects for the kids to get involved with. Moving on to the white parts of Santa's hat. We need the brim and the pom-pom. So I'm gonna go ahead and roll out my fondant. And again, I'm gonna go on the thinner side because we don't need it too thick. For the white fuzzy part of Santa's hat, yep, I just pulled out this scrap piece of cutting mat that I had actually thrown in the trash. I figured this would work perfect. I'm gonna arch it and angle it just a bit, cut through the fondant. Once I've got it cut through, I'm gonna go up just about 1/4 of an inch and I'm gonna arch it the same way and cut through, which is then in turn, yes, look, going to give us a white strip. With this white strip, I'm gonna go ahead and add some water to the back of it so it will stick to the rest of our fondant, and I'm gonna place it right there on the edge of Santa's hat. To cut off the extra fondant, yes, I pulled out my X-Acto knife. I figured that this was the easiest way to do it. It's gonna get the job done, and we're gonna get some nice clean edges while we're at it, because it's an X-Acto knife. It's gonna cut it exactly. Okay, that was kind of corny, but whatever. It's me. Santa's hat, it's missing the floppy part. Yes, the floppy part. Did I really just call it that? I did. What is that called? That floppy part that kind of folds over on a beanie hat? It's the floppy part. I don't think that there is a name for it. So again, I'm gonna roll out the red and I'm gonna do it pretty thin. Then I'm gonna go in with a pizza cutter. Pizza cutter is genius. It cuts through so nicely. And I'm gonna cut out an elongated triangle. Elongated triangle. Or is it, what? What is that triangle called? Oh my goodness, I just said elongated. We are adding that to the Kelly Barlow vocabulary dictionary. Yes, we are. This is my terminology, people. So yes, I am cutting out an elongated, stretched out triangle. Doesn't matter on the size. What really matters is we need that point there, because that point is going to be where the snowball goes. The snowball? The pom-pom? The pom-pom. Did I really say snowball like Santa has a snowball on his hat? Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm gonna tell you now, it is 1 o'clock in the afternoon when I'm doing this voiceover. I've been up since 4 o'clock and I am highly caffeinated, overly caffeinated. And so, yes. So with this, you can see where, moving on, you can see where I have put the point, and using my water, because that's our glue, I'm gonna go ahead and put it on the back side and just lay it down, and you can see that we've got a lot of extra red there. So taking my handy pizza cutter, yep, I'm just gonna cut off that excess red and just kind of smooth it out with my finger. Perfect, right? Look at how it looks. Now I'm gonna take some white and I'm just gonna roll it into a ball the size of the pom-pom that I want. That's gonna be proportionate with what we're doing. See, that's a good word, proportionate. That is a real word. We can't add that one to my dictionary, but look, and it's gonna go right there. And I don't know if I show, but you do, yes, you do need to add some water to it so it sticks. And that's what's great. Once you wet fondant, because it is sugar, it does get sticky and it really is almost like a cement. So you don't need to worry about your pieces falling off. There we go. It is in place and we are good to go. Santa needs a beard. How are we gonna do the beard? Again, we're gonna roll out our fondant. This is such a repetitious DIY, isn't it? For Santa's beard, we're gonna go a bit thicker because we have to texturize it. So you want it to be a bit thicker, so that is about the thickness that you want there. For Santa's beard, I'm kind of doing it in reverse, and I'm using the mold that I made as the inside edge of his beard. And you can see again that my edges are not completely clean. I did learn that if you started to twist the mold, you got cleaner edges, but I'm just gonna go in with my brush and I'm gonna smooth out those edges. And then I'm gonna go ahead and just take my scrap piece and I'm gonna angle it in the shape in which I kind of think Santa's beard should be for the bottom angle of his beard. We're actually shaping his beard. When placing the beard, I'm not gonna overlap it onto the face. I'm just gonna put some water on that outside edge, right along the edge of Santa's face there, and then I'm gonna place the beard right up against it. It's gonna fit perfectly because we use the mold, so the angle is the same. And just like that, we've placed Santa's beard. Now those top edges, they are a bit long, so you can go in with a pizza cutter or your X-Acto knife and trim them up to the size that you want them, giving yourself some nice clean edges. We can't leave Santa's beard flat like this. We need to add texture. So by taking some scissors and just cutting slits in the fondant, you don't want to go too deep. You just kind of want to go surface deep. Look at how cool that looks. It's going to give it texture and it's going to make it look like a beard. How cool is that? It's so easy. Easy techniques to achieve these looks. It is not intimidating. It's not hard to do. I think you all should challenge yourself and really try to do stuff like this because it's so fun to do different crafts and kind of step out of your comfort zone. For the pom-pom, I'm gonna take the pointy end of this here tool, and this came in, I wanna say, a fondant toolkit that I got at Walmart for $3.96. It came with some basic tools, and I'm just gonna poke in to the ball part, and then I'm gonna go ahead and add some dots, I guess, to the brim of the hat as well, just to kind of give it some personality, something other than just this flat surface of a hat. It's gonna give it some character, some texture. Yeah, that's what we're looking for, right? Right. Okay, so really, I'm gonna try to articulate this the best way that I can. How do you describe how I'm making Santa's mustache? I started off with a ball and I just kind of rolled it in between my fingers, and I made one end a bit more pointy than the other. You've got that thicker end and you've got the thinner end. The pointier end is going to be that outside edge of Santa's mustache, and then the thicker end is going to be right above his lip there. You're going to need two pieces that are just like this one here. So good luck doing that. That, I would say, was probably the hardest part of this, was getting two symmetrical pieces that look the same for his mustache. And I just kept going at it, and I ended up getting them close enough that I was happy. And just by putting the two pieces together in the middle there, we have now made what is a pretty cool mustache. Yes. And yes, again, we are going to use this handy tool, the pointy end, and right below his mustache, I'm going to make a dot, just kind of in a circular motion for Santa's mouth. Santa definitely needs a nose, so taking more of that peach fondant, I kind of rolled it in a ball and then just kind of rolled it, I guess, into what would be a bean shape, or yeah, we'll call it a bean shape, why not? We are just about done. We're gonna wrap this ornament up, but the outcome is already so stinking cute. Tell me it's not. Santa needs eyes, so I'm gonna take some black fondant and I just kind of rolled it into what's a noodle, I guess, shape, you know, and you're gonna make it as thick or as thin as you want. I don't suggest making it very thick. I think thinner the better, not too thin, obviously. You kind of want a happy medium again. Once you get the size that you're happy with, I went ahead and kind of pointed out one of the ends just a bit, just to kind of taper it off and give it a more finished look. And these are gonna go right here arched at the top for Santa's eyes. I feel like if you overcomplicate things and you don't look at them in the basic sense, it seems a bit more intimidating than it is. And something like this, I feel like, is very easy to do. I've never been one who was able to work with fondant or make cake toppers or even decorate cake. But I feel like when you break it down easily and you simplify it, it makes it super easy and doable to do, and just don't overthink it. And you'll have an outcome just like I did here. When looking at this, I feel like something is totally missing. And so I'm gonna take a paintbrush, and I'm not showing it, but I'm using the tip of a marker, a Crayola marker. I got a red one out. I'm running my brush right along the felt part of the marker where the ink is, and that's what I'm using to add some rosy cheeks to Santa and kind of make his nose a little bit on the pink side as well. Okay, really, look at how stinking cute this turned out. How fun is that? And it wasn't that hard to do either. Now, if you're worried about the critters getting to it because we did make it out of fondant, there is an easy remedy to that just by spraying it with a Krylon sealant, a matte or a gloss finish, and it's gonna do the trick. Although I didn't show it, here on the back side, you can see I just went ahead and hot glued some black twine onto the back so it can serve as an ornament to hang on your tree. I told you, it's easy to do. Working with fondant is so fun. It's easy, it's pliable, it's forgivable. I love working with fondant. Yes, there are alternatives if you wanted to use an air dry clay or maybe making a salt dough. I don't really work well with that stuff because I find that it cracks a lot. I have found that I get the best results using fondant, and when I seal it, I really don't have a problem with it. And it really does hold together nicely, and I package it well, so it holds up throughout the year after year, I guess I should say. And so I hope you all enjoyed today's Christmas in July Santa ornament, easy to do DIY. Please make sure to give this video a big thumbs up, and let's get this video to 5,000 likes. Because like I always say, each and every one of your thumbs up and the comments that you do leave down below, they really do help my channel to grow, and it helps YouTube to notice me just a bit more. Until next time, everybody, I hope you have a fantastic day. Happy crafting on a budget. Stay happy, stay safe, stay healthy. And you know what I'm gonna say, stay positive, please, and bye for now, everybody.